Hello everyone and welcome now to game 3 in this series. Oh, what did I just do? Did I start it over? Alright, well, welcome to the very beginning of game 3 in the series between Dimaga and ASD. ASD has spawned over here on the top right hand side of the map as the blue Protoss. Meanwhile, on the bottom left-hand side of the map, we see Dimaga spawning as the red Zerg. So far, ASD has a 2-0 lead in this series, and ASD looking very strong, knowing when to attack, knowing when to retreat, and knowing when to place down ninja expansions on maps that Dimaga may not be aware of. Now, taking a look here, Dimaga, will he be going for that spawning pool first? Most likely. Meanwhile, ASD is not changing his strategy all that much. Pretty much just sticking to his strategy of a forward fast expansion or some sort of variation on that. And this is going to be Cloud Kingdom, so Dimaga is really going to be forced to expand here into here for his third base, and expanding here for his third base will be expanding towards his opponent, and it will be a little bit difficult for him to actually defend it. Probe simply wandering around here now. He should perhaps be heading back home in just a moment, or perhaps looking for that spawning pool. Spawning pool, it has not yet been placed down. Finally placed down now, as the probe still getting in a little bit of zap damage onto these drones. A probe just coming in for that bit of harassment, wandering around here, still getting in a bit of damage once more. And will ASD perhaps be going for a Nexus first? And it looks like that will be the case. A Nexus first here on Cloud Kingdom, as the Overlord will be getting there in just a moment. And ASD actually not blocking the hatchery of Dimaga. That did come as a bit of surprise, as ASD now wanders back down, notices that there is no gas, and knows that there is not going to be any serious engagement for at least a little while longer. Nexus now warping in. Forge now warping in as well. ASD making sure that this front door is going to be pretty well sealed, adding in another pylon here, and should be adding in a photon cannon and a gateway when they become available. So far, ASD still sitting on 18 probes versus 17 drones. Yeah, I understand Protoss is down here, but Protoss, it looks like it's like on the top side of the map, so shouldn't that be the top? No? Getting a little confused there. Anyways, Zerglings now making their way back down, and Dimaga will be expanding into this location here, that center of 7 o'clock location expansion. Not something that Zerg players normally want to do this early in the game, but Dimaga has really been favoring a macro style. Photon cannon adding in on this front door, as ASD just simply sitting back and waiting for his base to get operational and to get more probes there. Alright, I swear I'm not tired. ASD now backing away with this probe here. And so far, this is just a bunch of SimCity in terms of who can develop and who can maintain the best economy, while not being surprised by any secret tactics or special tactics that may be coming in from either of these players. ASD is going to slip inside with this probe with little to no effort. Hatchery by Dimaga will be completed here in just a second. 25 more seconds until it is completed, and Dimaga now making his way over with his queen here, and also laying down some creep tumors. Things that every good Zerg player should do. Zealot now making its way out, and it will be going up against this Zelnaga tower here. Will the Zealot be able to actually win out here? It looks as though it's not going to be able to chase after those Zerglings at all. The Zealot just simply going to be sitting at this position, perhaps actually get off some easy shots there, as the Zerglings are just dancing a bit back and forth around this one Zelnaga tower. The Zealot, knowing that he can handle these two Zerglings with little to no effort, as the Zerglings are now trying to make their way in, and now finally a Stalker makes its way over, and with that Stalker, the Zerglings know it's time to back away. Dimaga now sitting on 3 bases with 3 queens, trading up 10 drones at a time will have a very large economic advantage here in just a moment, as Dimaga looking to also make this choke point a bit narrower. Drones now making their way over here to that third base. We are seeing a tech to tier 3, and this is all off of 2 gas. Dimaga running on 2 gas, even though he is currently trying to get his third base up and running, and now finally laying down extractors here and here. Still no gas taken inside his main base. Perhaps he's saving that gas for a little bit later, knowing that he will need that precious gas later on. Overlords, drones, Zergling speed movement now finally being added. Dimaga sitting on 55 drones versus 44 probes, and ASD is going to be in a world of hurt unless he can establish up a new base. Dimaga going to be taking that economic advantage very quickly, and also establishing up a macro hatch. So hatchery here, macro hatch here. We should see Dimaga coming out with a whole bunch of larvae in the next couple of minutes, and he may just be able to crash down this front door. Level 1 weapons upgrade coming in. ASD also looking to warp in some additional warp gates, getting that robotics facility similar to what he did in game 2, as the level 1 weapons upgrade now being completed. Roach Warren completed. Now it's 7 roaches being trained at a time. There's going to be a large number of roaches on the field. Glial reconstitution already added as well. So a very fast mobile Zerg army, or mobile Zerg army, should be coming across the map, especially with the way Dimaga is spreading down these creep tumors. Laying another creep tumor down off over here would be very beneficial, as it would be able to just jump up straight, and all you need is a Zergling. Or is going to use a changeling there. All you would need is right there, and then it will be able to wrap around and then get back up onto that high ground. All right, Zealots now trying to engage. What are we going to be seeing here? There are sentries and Zealots coming into position. How much damage could be dealt? There's only one queen off over here. Zergling's now trying to get underneath, and the queen just getting off some easy shots off onto this Warp Prism. Warp Prism is now forced to retreat as an observer now making its rounds. Warp Prism just staying up on the high ground and now going to be backing away. ASD is in trouble, sitting at 87 supply compared to 122. And now ASD finally taking up his third base, but he is still... Nope, he is actually pretty even in terms of overall economy now. 60 harvesters to 60 about, as ASD now backing away. We are seeing at 100 supply versus 127. Zerglings are now making their way over there. Perhaps they will get a surround or an engagement down over here. The sentries could lay down some force fields. Yes, 2 sentries were taken down there, as the roaches may be trying to attack there in just a moment. We see a much larger mineral army coming in from ASD, a much higher tech army, indicated by the gas coming in from, higher mineral army by Dimaga, a higher gas army by ASD, as the units are all still just going to be gathering up on this front door. Nexus needs about another 15 seconds or so, as we could be having our next engagements in just a matter of seconds. Dimaga also looking to establish up his 4th base, not wanting to stay even on bases at all, as the Warp Prism is still looking to perhaps try to do a drop somewhere, but Dimaga, with Overlords pretty much in every corner of the map, can easily spot this Warp Prism coming just half a screen away. Zergling's now going to get underneath this Warp Prism here, just going to stick around here, and we may see this hatchery perhaps take a little bit of damage, but not much of anything else, as ASD is still down by about 28 supply. That Warp Prism, however, baiting a lot of Zerglings to chase after it, as the Warp Prism still maneuvering around. No Hydralisk. We are now going into a Spire and also into Hive Tech. That means Greater Spire and Broodlords with Broodlings should be coming in soon. So far, it is going to be 4 bases to 4, and Observer still wandering around here. And we are going to perhaps see Roaches still try to push back that 1 Warp Prism. Dimaga, knowing that he needs a fair amount of gas, just looking to harvest as much gas as possible. For some reason, only 2 harvesters on this one particular geyser, as more spine crawlers are being added here on the front door. 76 drones versus 68 probes right now. More gateways being added. ASD looking to even up the supply count and then attack when ready. Army compositions still show it is about even now, even though Dimaga is ahead in terms of overall supply. More spine crawlers could be added here to add in more DPS and being able to soak up more damage. Warp Prism now warping in more units again. as the Warp Prisms are upgraded 1-1, soon to be 2-1, and the Stalkers could just perhaps blink forward and take down some of these Roaches and Zerglings. ASD now going to engage here. Roach is trying to engage. Zergling's going to engage, and this is a bad fight for Dimaga. Dimaga getting corralled once more as more Stalkers are warping in, and ASD made that fight look absolutely easy, even though he was controlling multiple units and getting that Warp Prism in position to warp in more units. Spinecrawler is going to get picked apart there. Down. Oh, there it goes. Finally, long elastic tentacle able to shoot that down there. Spinecrawlers are off over here as well. Now, where is that next engagement? Greater Spire now coming online. Corruptors being added. Do we have any Corruptors on the field? Yes, we currently have 5 Corruptors on the field as the Spinecrawlers are poking back at this one group of Stalkers once more. Stalkers now looking to perhaps try to charge up. They're not going to be able to do that. We can see that there are Broodlords now making their way in, and ASD still look absolutely strong now. Just simply attack moving into this group. Spinecrawlers, what, force fields, just poking around back and forth. And what is this? The Colossus still able to slice and dice through many of these units here. That force field just making and causing problems left and right. Corruptors now coming in. Where are those Broodlords? Are they going to engage? As ASD is now actually behind here in terms of overall supply count. 168 versus 134. Broodlords now dropping off the kid. Those Broodlings going to be going after that, after those targets. Stalkers now making their way in, but quickly finding that there are a lot of Zerglings underneath. Spinecrawlers, or sorry, not Spinecrawlers, Stalkers now going after the Broodlords. No Spinecrawlers in sight as Dimaga is perhaps looking to turn the tides here in just a moment. Stalkers now continuing to drop off. More and more Broodlings on top of those Stalkers. The Warp Prism now gets taken down as ASD is now down 111 to 168. Stalkers now engaging up against those Roaches. Broodlords need to perhaps get in better position as the Stalkers still have superior numbers here. Worker count doesn't show very much. 160 versus 115. ASD still winning out the wars here, even though Dimaga, I guess, has a larger army but isn't as well grouped together. More units still coming in off from the north. Stalkers are looking to engage. More Spinecrawlers, more Broodlords coming in. There is 3 Broodlords with another 4 on the way. Are those Broodlings going to be able to do enough damage here? One Stalker goes down. There is another Stalker going down. Infestors could get off some fungal growths here. That one Infestor or one Stalker able to shoot that down. Perhaps better use of range as more and more units get taken down there, and ASD loses Game 3 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for Game 4. If you guys are following me daily, I will be posting up Game 4 tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.